The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions. Investigation. We will not allow this kind of illicit activity to happen, not only at the national sporting level, but also where it hides in La Cosa Nostra. And when these two collided together, they perpetrated a fraud that is historic in terms of not just money, but the scheme and the deceit that they utilize to steal and swindle people for money, to include crypto fraud.
The basketball world was going crazy yesterday when the feds came just yesterday morning when they announced Operation Royal Flush and Operation Nothing But Bet. And Mafia members, NBA coaches, and players were arrested. Everything was just running wild, right? The feds was on TV saying that they had a thorough investigation running since 2019, right? They locked up Terry Rozier, a player for the Miami Heat, right? They said that he was betting on, alleging that he was betting on games. Now, mind you, we're finding out that Terry was acquitted in the state, but now the feds picked it up, right? We know that Gilbert Arenas was also arrested on some gambling stuff, but we found out that it had nothing to do with this. But then they get Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups was arrested because he was taking part in poker games, him and Damon Jones, where they was inviting their friends to poker games, and the Mafia was rigging it. They, they had x-ray tables where they could see your cards. They had a rigged shuffler where they knew what type of cards to give you, and they was people was getting robbed for about $7 million. Right? The feds was watching all of this kind of stuff. Now, when this stuff was transpiring, going on, we saw over the summer, I think it was July 30th, if I'm not mistaken, my birthday, we saw that Gilbert Arenas got arrested. And when Gilbert Arenas got arrested, people were saying that he was snitching. Now, we know the situation with Jontay Porter, who was the brother of Michael Porter Jr. He was arrested last year in connections with gambling, and I think that he started blowing the whistle because he hasn't been arrested yet. But we know the Eastern District out of New York City and Patel, the director, the FBI director, they came down with these indictments and they coming down hard. Now, people were saying that Gilbert Arenas was snitching. He's ratting. So Gilbert Arenas, because he was making statements like this in jokes.
All the trolling, that's cool, but Rachel Nichols is foul.
What did Rachel Nichols do, Gil?
She used my video and she actually wrote that I possibly snitched.
Oh, no, Rachel.
Listen, I'm going to troll with the best of them. But to ask that question,
no, she didn't do that.
Because then it makes me really want to, first of all, two of them is gambling on NBA. One is throwing poker games and robbing his friends. Ain't got to do with me. I'm going to tell on this. Wow, I'm gonna tell on him. You know what I mean? My case is all a whole bunch of Igors, and Igors, right? And I don't like this. What's going on? I see the word Mafia.
Yeah.
But the only faces I see is Negroes.
Yeah. Not Crenshaw Mafia.
NBA. You know what I mean? It's NBA. Like, wait a minute, hold on, man. What's going on here? What y'all going? What the NBA do to y'all?
Brother polite. Brother.
I had to think about it. It's Mafia, but it's just local. You've
been around Brother Knowledge. You've been around Brother
The international crime bosses, blacks. Hey. Okay.
You need a face.
They don't got jumpers.
You need a face.
They don't got jumpers. None of them gave Kobe
Look, I watch enough movies to know the last group you want to snitch on is the Mafia.
Right. Yeah. Adam Silver, he wasn't gonna open those arenas up as polling stations.
Listen, I watch Dateline. They still ain't found people since 1947.
When you seen them?
I like my YouTube career. Gilbert Arenas was making these jokes and stuff like that on his channel, on his show, but it had absolutely nothing to do. It had absolutely nothing to do with the arrest that the feds just levied down now. right? But people, it don't look right. We know that he lost, a lot of the rights to his show. We know that his show could only be on 2 days now because Underdog came in, swooped in once he got caught up in the gambling sting, because they're a gambling site. They swooped in and took control of a lot of stuff, right? And the feds is really uncovering this thing, and they're saying that they got more people. Everybody ain't been brought to justice yet, right? Everybody hasn't been brought. Now, mind you, everybody's still innocent to proven guilty. Well, they should be. But the Mafia members, most likely you'll never see. But they're using Chauncey Billups and Damon names as the face to make it more salacious, to make it more out there like that, to make it more newsworthy where people will pay attention to it. Let's check out some more of what the feds were saying.
Of more than 2 years of coordinated investigative work by the NYPD's Joint Organized Crime Task Force and the FBI. 2 cases that exposed criminal networks led by 34 individuals who believe the rules did not apply to them. They hid behind layers of complexity, behind money, and behind influence, believing those things would shield them from accountability. The first case, Operation Nothing But Bet, exposed a gambling ring built around professional basketball, where players and associates allegedly used inside information to manipulate prop bets on major sports betting platforms. They placed wagers on unders on players to score less, rebound less, assist less, using information that was not yet public. In some instances, players altered their performance or took themselves out of games to make sure that those bets. Season tips off, his career is already benched, not for injury, but for integrity. As a result of this investigation, 6 defendants, including Rozier, are now facing conspiracy to commit bank and wire fraud. In a second case, Operation Zen Diagram, investigators uncovered a long-running scheme in which members and associates of several well-known organized crime families rigged high-stakes poker games across the country. These operatives included capos and multiple soldiers from the Bonanno, Gambino, Lucchese, and Genovese crime families, bringing 4 of the 5 families together in a single indictment.
Now, when all this stuff was hitting the fan, people was coming out saying that Rachel Nichols is accusing Gilbert Arenas of snitching. Gilbert Arenas was very upset about that, and that's why he talked about it on his, on the podcast that I just showed you. But let's look at what Rachel Nichols was saying. I have absolutely no idea whether Gilbert Arenas is involved in the investigation that led to today's FBI arrest, but this from July just resurfaced on my phone. Gilbert Arenas says, snitching Gil coming soon. After being indicted on 3 federal charges accusing him of renting out his house for or helping arrange an illegal poker gaming racket, Gil was facing up to 5 years in prison, but seems willing to cut a deal, right? So she posted that, and Gilbert, he was upset. And then, he started posting stuff, the clown things, where he was saying Gilbert Arenas snitching on Chauncey Billups, right? And he got the Nino Brown thing, right? Then he said, y'all ain't it for this, right? Y'all ain't it for this. If I ever tell, it will be on, basically he was saying Kwame, basically saying he gonna snitch on Kwame Brown, right? Then he had another one. This is bigger than Nino Brown. And I got a list to prove it, right? So people was just all online posting everything. Then you see him on his on his show where he says Gilbert really walked in on a set with a snitch package. So and you see him sitting here, got the Informant lunch special this morning, right? So, Gilbert, he always gotta find something to clown, right? Somebody said, like I've been saying since he got arrested, he is trolling, not telling on nobody. So we don't know, but what we do know is the feds have swooped in. They got Chauncey Billups. I know he's going to be fired from his job. I don't know how these guys and why these guys get linked to this kind of stuff and caught up in this foolishness. It just doesn't make any sense, right? Now, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, allegedly. I can't prove this. But where there's smoke, there's fire. We know that Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, Jonte, was arrested, and he was charged with similar charges. And he has yet to be sentenced, right? So I believe that he might be the one uncovering and blowing the whistle on his whole operations. He may know more than what people think he knows, and he's telling. So we see, Damon Jones, the former player. A lot of people I've seen online, they was trying to link LeBron James, saying that they had phone calls where he was having phone conversations with LeBron James about bets. So we don't know, but we know Jonte Murray he got caught up in a situation where he was caught up telling these Mafia betting guys that when he would be hurt, how many minutes he would play, where they can put bets into parlays and make a lot of money. So he was suspended for life for the NBA. It's a shame. I believe, I could be wrong, but I think that Chauncey Billups was just taking parts in playing poker. And the feds in their investigation, they got him playing poker, him and Dante, right? And they arrest them and make them the face of everything, where they can blow it up even bigger and make a name. So they become the cannon fire. But again, that's their fault for being in those places. Like, why not just go to the casino and gamble? Why be in these places? The same thing with Gilbert Arenas. Like, where there's smoke, there's fire. Why are you being a part of this stuff? Right? And Gil was trolling, saying that he's going to come out and tell. But again, like I said, these guys was running these rackets. They was using the Mafia to enforce people to pay. They had all kinds of elaborate schemes to show how they were scheming the people. And then, so now, mind you, it's Operation Royal Flush. It's 2 investigations, and then Operations Nothing But Net. And Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier are part of 2 different operations. Terry Rozier, I think, is in even bigger trouble because he's caught up in situations that got something to do with NBA games. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about this, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.